Hi, everybody, and welcome to Bodacity's Ask the Experts. I'm Jannette Anderson from bodacity.ca, and today I have the lovely Carole Maureen Friesen. Is that right? Yes, I did. I was like, no, it's not Maureen. Yes, it is. With me all the way from Costa Rica, which is why she's got all that lovely background there and looks so tan and relaxed and mellow. So today, Carole is here to talk to us about your body is your business, from the bedroom to the bank, and using psychosomatic bodywork, which she's going to tell us a lot more about, as well as a lot of the other modalities that she has. So I'll read you her bio, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Carole Maureen Friesen is all about personal transformation and rocking your stage with power. A sought-after keynote speaker, best-selling author, whoops, and an award-winning trainer, Carole charms her audiences with her unique blend of body language, face reading, wisdom, and candid humor. She shows you how to peel back deep emotional layers of cellular memory through the use of somatic psychology, which is very interesting. We're going to get into that. She's also has a number of other modalities that she works with, and I have to tell you, is a very, very good at reading bodies, faces, and knows way more about you than you ever want her to know before you even meet her. So welcome, Carole. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jannette.
All the way from lovely Costa Rica. And where in Costa Rica are you?
I'm in Central Valley, so up the mountain from Dominical, or where a lot of people know where Envision Fest is, which is a huge yoga retreat that happens in February. They can come from all over the world. I'm about an hour from there.
Wow, yeah. Awesome. And you moved there about 1.5 years ago.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. What prompted, because I know people are going to want to know because you're from Canada. So what happened and how did you end up moving there? Because there's lots of people who are like, I just want to go live in the jungle. Yeah. So, so how did you end up there?
Well, I moved here because I started getting into, besides psychosomatic therapy, which is my main focus, main modality that I use, and I've been very true to it for the last 19 years, going on almost 20 years that I've been, I worked with my mentor, Herman Mueller from Australia, from the college. I brought him into Canada and United States for 14 years. I traveled and worked with him and opened up many cities. And yeah, it's the way I got here. I started studying the Mayan calendar and cosmology, and which is very connected to what they call psychophysical, which using the psyche or the consciousness in the flesh, the soul, and how connected we are in our bodies, but also how it connects to the universe, and how the electrical currents run through the planetary system, and how we're all affected by everything that's moving at many levels, which is using the Mayan calendar. And so when I found out who I was through the Galactic Signature Blueprint and started synchronizing my life to the Mayan calendar, which is all about balance and 28 days, 13 moons, the menstrual cycle, and the seasons, and I started to get in time instead of on time. So everything started to synchronize. Things were falling off shelves and numbers coming up. I was living in Vancouver at the time, and I couldn't get away from it, and everything pointed towards Costa Rica. And so when I was stuck in traffic in Vancouver, I says, I can't live here. give me the jungle. And yeah, so it was just one big leap of faith that I was doing the right thing. And 1.5 years later, I believe I did the right thing, even though it's been ups and downs like anything. Getting here, going to a new country, new language. But the people I've met here have been absolutely phenomenal and more international. I really wanted to go international than just local. So it really was a big leap for me, but I'm very happy here. It's quite something.
Awesome. Yeah, we were talking a little earlier about some of your interesting initial travails and so forth. So tell us a little bit about you personally that we wouldn't guess from your bio, or tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get to where you are now?
Well, in my past life, if you want to call it, before I got into psychosomatic therapy, I owned and operated a bistro and blues bar for 14 years in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. So I say our soul kind of gathers experiences to where we are taking us to this moment to move us forward. So now I'm running a retreat center, and after selling the restaurant, I says, no, I'm not going to do that again. And now I'm right back at it, and I believe my soul was gathering the experiences to where I'm to move now. And when I sold it in 1999, I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to go on my spiritual journey. I had read the Celestine prophecy and
a starter for many of us.
Yes. And so through the journey, first thing I came across was psychosomatic therapy. And I always say that I didn't pick this work, the work picked me. And so when I first took the class, I was blown away that in one day we could learn to read a face. And Jannette, you've been in our class, the one-day face reading class, which is so fascinating to see people. And this work teaches us about compassion, about seeing what the trials and tribulations a person has had and how it shows on the face, and how to see the beauty in each person that we meet. Some people are scared to be seen, but we're 99% accurate.
Yeah.
Especially in face reading. And then when body reading came up, it just brought up all my childhood issues. And what held me back all my life was in grade 2, I'd been wrongfully accused of cheating in a spelling test and got a strap for it. And I hated English from there on in. I wouldn't do any public speaking. I could barely, even in the restaurant, say my name or introduce anyone or even run a staff meeting because I was terrified of public speaking. And when I came across where it had happened in childhood, because after getting that strap, I hated English, I hated spelling, I couldn't spell. And it takes a lot of energy to hide a thing about ourselves that we don't like. And when that started, when the body, mind, and the consciousness and the subconscious connected, that's the tension I was holding in my body and protecting. Even though I could run a successful business, I was still terrified of one aspect of myself and hiding that, thinking I'm dumb and even though I would get 90s and 100s in biology and chemistry, but 50 rewrite in English, barely passing just because I hated the subject. And once that unraveled under the tension in my body, it was like thousands of rubber bands being cut inside of me. And I poured in sweat and I cried out 42 years of pent up anger, pain, guilt, resentment, everything we store in our body. And guess what? I can spell just fine ever since. And now you can't even get me off the stage. I love public speaking. Cool. So yeah, a lot of it really, it really catapulted me forward. And I became dedicated to the work to assist other people to come back to their self and look at the beauty inside of them, no matter what shape you're in. Your body loves you unconditionally. It's our own brain that shuts us down and all the negative talk. And we're all trying to switch this, belief systems and everything else. But a lot of people are trying to do it through just positive thinking, but it doesn't necessarily change it at cellular memory. So we look at cellular memory. Yeah.
And so so tell us a little bit more about psychosomatic body work and what does that mean and where did that arise out of?
Well, psychosomatic therapy is actually, psychosomatics is almost a negative thing, but it's coming more and more in, like Louise Hayes talks about it, heal your body, heal your life. Deepak Chopra talks about it in his great book all the way through. He talks a lot about psychosomatics, how we think and how we create our body. In one of his books, Reinvent Your Body, Resurrect Your Soul, because the consciousness of the light or the soul within us is trapped in negative experiences through our life, and especially in growing up years. And it seems to, it keeps snowballing. And we keep getting the experiences over and over until we can actually address the body. Where have we stored this? And listen to the body, not the brain, because the brain is there to protect us. And it actually will do everything so it doesn't have to change. It is a protector, and we need both.
Yes.
The brain is a brilliant thing, but at the same time, with just trying to do it from our thoughts, it's like mind over matter. Instead of looking at the matter or the material, how do we switch it in a feeling versus in a thought?
Okay.
So in The Secret, they forgot the secret in The Secret.
Okay, what's the secret they forgot in The Secret?
Well, they forgot that it's all about feelings.
Okay.
It's how we feel about something, and affirmations don't necessarily work unless you believe them. And most of the time, I'm brilliant, I'm smart, I'm uplifted, and something back here is saying bullshit. And then it's not working. And I like to have more, let's have positive focus. What are we focusing on? Our diamonds, or are we focusing on our dog shit?
Right.
And to find the diamonds in the doo-doo, which we all have, instead of sitting playing in it, find the gift in it and move forward. And we keep gathering the gifts.
Okay.
And every negative experience, and I think the hardest thing would be to come to terms with backing over your own child in a driveway or something. How do you find the diamond in that? And even whether it's cancer or anything, to find the gift in it, then the healing can start. And we're all here to heal at whatever level, but to understand it through our own body, because the body never lies. It's always telling us something if we're listening. And hey, I'm not perfect. I don't listen all the time, and I have just as much going on as anyone else. It just gives some tools to work with and some understanding. So
let me see if I'm tracking kind of your frame of reference of so the psychosoma, so the psycho, the mind, soma, the body, correct? And what I heard though, because my current structure or belief is that our thoughts or our beliefs create the feelings and the reactions that we have to those thoughts and beliefs. The feelings then create the state, which translates into the physicality and into our physical expression and into residual effects, whether it's disease or various other things, especially over prolonged periods of that state. Is that kind of, am I tracking your frame of reference as well?
Yeah, that's coming from the thoughts. But what if we start with the feelings? Like it's who came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. See, because I always have a struggle with, well, what creates the feelings? Typically, it's what I'm focusing on. If I shift my focus, my feeling shifts, right? So I always think it's thoughts and feelings. But in either regard, it then translates into what's going on in the body and manifests physically. Well, not just in the body, but also in the physical world in various ways. So
we have so much happening in white noise in the subconscious that's back there. Your body is your subconscious mind, and feelings still can come up. Of like myself, insecurities from grade 2 was running my programming and what I actually believed in. So how did Clinton get on?
I don't know how Clinton got here. Clinton, we're taping a show for my Ask the Experts episode. So I'm not sure how you got here, but can I chat with you later?
Yes.
Okay, bye. Hi, bye.
See, we were just talking about him.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. He's just been attracted by the energy of hearing us talk about him. So, yeah. All right. There we go. So,
this insecurity from grade 2, it was ruling my life, and no matter what I was trying to change, it wasn't happening until I could get to the feeling where in the body it was and shift that feeling. Now our brain, you come in as a baby, it's completely neutral. There's nothing programmed. It's a hard drive of a computer. So it's our life experiences. If you've come from a very traumatic life experiences and growing up years, and especially sexual abuse and physical abuse, someone using their power over you, we see through those lenses, and it kind of runs the feelings in the body every time an insecurity comes up. So it's not even what I'm thinking, it's what I'm feeling. But if I'm having these thoughts, it starts to create chemical reaction in the body. So I'm creating the feeling, and if it's a negative thought, I'm creating like a cesspool. It's like a sewer system of chemicals that are being created in the body. So if you can actually go into see if it's, am I really feeling this, or is my brain creating the chemicals in my body so I feel sick, or I feel sick to my stomach even thinking of something. And
so how do you tell the difference between those two? Because that is a big question, especially for a lot of people who believe in the mind-body connection and that we create our experiences and so forth. How do you tell the difference?
Well, it's just being in touch. Is that really a feeling, or is that my thoughts that are creating this? And a lot of things that happen, whether it's stubbing your big toe, now you have a feeling in the body. Now, did that come from a thought? But then I think, what was I thinking when I stubbed my toe? Was I in my body? And so then the body, it's trying to tell me, look here, you're not in your body. Like, I'm usually thinking about something way outside of myself, and I bump my ankle or my toe on the side of the bedpost. And then I have to focus back on my body. Now that gets me in my body, but any injury gets you in your body, whether it's even, now thoughts become cancerous. I'm not sure. That would mean more, we see cancer as the same thought pattern happening over and over, because cells are meant to die, but we reproduce that same cell. It's reproducing it in a negative way, and it is an issue from way back in our life, whether we didn't feel nurtured at all as a child, or we didn't feel our mother's love. The breasts can be very small, and they can't feel love, and it depends on the bone structure, how we see it, and how that child has grown up and filled out. So a lot of, let's say if it's sexual abuse, not all, because it depends if the body is in fight or flight. In fight, you would have a lot of tissue between the legs, from the knees to the genital area in the inside of the legs, is it's protection of something that happened way back. And or there's no tissue at all. But if there's no tissue, they just think they have no issues, but there's nobody home. And someone with a lot of tissue, there's a lot of fight, and there's a lot of buried hurt or buried anger in the body, or frustration. Depends on the issue, and everyone's different, right? And or characteristics. Like someone like yourself is very mothering, right? You're very, that's what we love about you, is you're very, you love to empower others, and you love to nurture. It's in you, your essence. And so you can nurture people, and people love, if you need something, just go see Jannette. She'll do it. She can't say no, because you love to empower other people. You want to see other people happy. And it's not a negative thing. It just is what it is. But sometimes it can feel like you're breastfeeding the world. Yeah, but it's a beautiful quality about you. And you've got it in the cheeks too. It's very nurturing.
My little chubby cheeks.
So the cheeks are the breasts.
Yeah.
And it corresponds with the body. And so also cheekbones is your ambition. So you've got strong ambition, but you will do it in a nurturing way. You won't do it in a dogmatic way. So you care about other people's feelings. And I mean, I'm kind of reading your face now.
I get that.
And your nose, your prominent nose, I mean, that tells me you're very loyal and very honest by nature. That is who you are by the fleshiness of the ball of your nose. So I'd buy a used car from you any day because you tell me everything that was wrong with it.
That's so funny because I'm about to sell my vehicle and it's like, oh, and I'm gonna have to point out the fact that it's got some rust here in case they missed out because yeah.
But you can live with yourself otherwise, Jannette.
Right.
I mean, those are virtues.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can feel people take advantage of that too. And when you need something, maybe there's nobody there for you. But if you look in the mirror, Jannette, then you see those beautiful qualities. Those are beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a negative. It's just being aware when someone can overstep the boundaries in that, in your and loving capacity.
Yeah. For a long time, I resisted the characterization of being motherly and so forth because of, I grew up with a mother that was more like swearing at me than it was a compliment, and so I was kind of like wanted to go the opposite direction. I've now come back into the middle of, yes, I could be very nurturing and supportive and loving, and also have some balance around that as I learn boundaries and as I learn, self-possession and that kind of thing, and learn more assertiveness and able to take care of myself more. That's now more balanced, so it's a lot easier to say, yes, it's okay to embrace those other aspects of who we are, which I think is part of the journey for all of us, right? We've got strengths, we've got challenges, and how do we come to know them, find out how to balance them in a way that works for us, because different things at different times are needed, right? Like there's times where I need ambition more than I need my nurturing, and vice versa. So in terms of the
I see it too as a lot of people will say strengths and weaknesses. I see it as strengths and sensitivity. Now you're super sensitive because you've got you don't have a big square jaw like I do. I've got to find sensitivity in my strengths. Where you probably were in the corporate world, you try to bring out your strengths, yet you're so sensitive at the same time. Mm-hmm. So then we think in our society, we're thinking that a sensitivity is a weakness. It's not. It's just finding strength within the sensitivity instead of trying to cover up your sensitivity in the corporate world. And now I see you as coming into your own, and I've watched you grow for the last, how long have I known you? Probably
a long time. Yep.
And working with Jay and everything else, I just see you coming into your own and your own strengths with your sensitivity. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to hide that anymore. Yeah. You don't have to pretend to be strong.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a weakness. It's a beautiful thing. I think we need to change that in the wording of in mass consciousness, and especially
I agree wholeheartedly. And often our strengths are just our sensitivities turned up a little too loud, or vice versa. I mean, our sensitivities are our strengths just turned up too loud at times, or just not, harnessed in a way or embraced in a way. So when I first met Carole was actually at, I think, at Callan and Justin's weekend workshop. I think that was the first time I met you. It certainly was the first time that, because I was in the kitchen and mentioned that my jaw was sore, and this woman walked up to me, stuck her thumb in my mouth and reached on my jawbone. It was excruciating. And I was like, as soon as she took her hand out, I went, "And you are?" So that was my first introduction to you. I was like, okay, well, that's one way to be memorable. So you do physical body work. You do kind of psychosomatic coaching and work with people in that capacity. You do the face reading and body reading and so forth. How else do you work with people, and what kind of work do you do with people?
Well, I train practitioners. I also have, like, being on Callan's stage with Mesmerize Your Audience, definitely was workshop leaders and presenters, how to take the stage with power. Mm-hmm. But our life is our stage. Mm-hmm. And you're constantly speaking to your family and children, and they all look at you as an example. So what you do off the stage is more important what you do on the stage. I also have a lot of holistic practitioners looking at how can they read someone a lot deeper than just what a person's telling them, because it's the brain speaking, but the body is telling us something else. So I train holistic practitioners how to read their clients. Even I can tell what your mother was thinking carrying you in the womb, just by bone structure. And I train other practitioners to see that. And it's a beautiful journey. Everyone's a walking autobiography of their life. And there's nothing more beautiful than to study your own autobiography, your book, and to really look at your life and marvel at our life and self-reflection. So I do an online program, which is 16 modules online. And then I do a 3-day live event if they choose, or they can take one or the other. And then I can take them on to a practitioner level, which is 12 days. They come to Costa Rica and do 12 days in the jungle here and learn the process, how to. And it's a government registered training organization out of Australia, so they can get government certified as a practitioner of psychosomatic therapy. And then I teach a master's level, and then I teach a diploma in teaching this work. I'm the highest. Yeah, I'm not sure if you knew this, but Jannette, but Herman passed away in December 2017.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
So I went to Australia last year to bring up the teachers in those areas, because I'm the highest in the world to teach to Herman's level, not even his wife that is running the college now. So I was bringing Mari up to where she can teach the masters, but not the diploma in teaching yet. So part of that was bringing the world to me in Costa Rica, and people that are really dedicated to the work, dedicated to their own self, and they can take it through either self-development or professional development. So there's 2 avenues, 2 pathways. One just includes doing a lot of home study and case studies and submitting them to me, and we go through them. And then for personal development, they don't have to do any of the logbooks. They just come to the experiential, how to stand, how to walk, how to breathe, how to move the issues through the tissues, and really start to connect the brain or the conscious mind with the subconscious mind. And then through other modalities, what I'm doing a lot right now is galactic signature blueprints, and how and that's through the Mayan astrology, and how we can work from our 5th dimension and looking at all the dimensions of ourselves, because everything is kind of like breadcrumbs. We're all given like little people have tarot card readings and astrology. Astrology works in our planetary system. The next level up is numerology, which I teach the soul and personality rays through numerology, and that's spiritual mathematics. And one higher than that is the galactic signature blueprint through the Mayan teachings. And also, if anyone's heard of human design, human design is taken off of the Mayan astrology, is developed off the Mayan astrology, but human design is very much left brain function, which is sort of a circuits and a robot type thing, and more analytical, where the galactic signature is using archetypes and the right brain function. So very creative in that part of it. Yeah. And it's so right on for everyone. And I'm a red spectral serpent, and I'm here to bring up the kundalini of Mother Earth. And Costa Rica is an amazing ley line, feminine ley line that needs to be corrected in the 5th orbit. And I won't get too galactic on everyone, but
you just lost some of us, but I don't know what that means.
I'll leave that out. But the energy does run through Costa Rica here, and I'm going to talk more because I've studied a lot with the Blackfoot Nations in standoff. I sat in council with down in the Blackfoot Nations, sweat lodges for like 10 years. I would go to sweat lodges and adopted by them. But it's about bringing the eagle of the north and the condor of the south. When it comes, flies together, the white dove of peace lands in Central America. And we're the only country in Central America that has no army. And so there's a medicine wheel, a worldwide medicine wheel, and the center of it is Costa Rica, which is Chirpo Mountain. So this is exactly which is coming together since 2012. A lot of shamanism has come up, more so than Eastern philosophies. And it's about coming back to Mother Earth and honoring Mother Earth and the divine feminine rising and bringing peace on earth. And so we're kind of vibrating that energy out from Costa Rica here. So just coming here, it's like the life force is so, everything's alive here. I mean, the jungle, it just, we cut one thing down and then a week later it's just as big again. And we stick a stick in the ground and all of a sudden 2 weeks later there's a huge butterfly bush coming out. So it's about the life force that we don't get in cities because so much cement, very little green space, and our thoughts are pretty pure here because you're not picking up other people's mental energy. And plus we have very little, I mean, we have good Wi-Fi, but I don't think we'll ever see the 5G, which I think is going to destroy the planet. That's just my thoughts. And because it's 100 times more powerful than 4G, and they can actually control by mass consciousness and create artificial intelligence. It's the only thing that we can override it with is artificial intelligence doesn't have an imagination. So if we can hold the image of peace on earth here, but peace has to come inside our own body. So even when I do the galactic astrology, and it means nothing unless you have a body. So it still comes down to your body. You have no business without your body.
Right. Which brings us to the title, Your Body is Your Business. So what do you mean by that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, your body is your business. I mean, you're the center of your own universe, but you're the center of your business. So if you get sick, your business shuts down, or you're still the center of it. And the more power the more energy and the more connected you are to your body, the more you can increase your magnetic field, because thoughts are electrical. Our body, our feelings are magnetic. And when you are in a energy field of love, which just means balance between our fears and our thoughts, or our thoughts and our feelings, then you start to attract things into your world. So that is the law of attraction, is our feelings and our magnetic feelings. But you've got to ground yourself to Mother Earth, because that becomes the magnet. Because our thoughts are electrical, and that's very fast, where magnetic is very much slower. And you see a child is attracted to someone's energy field of love. Animals are attracted to energy fields of love. You see a cat, if you're a cat lover, the cats all come to you. I mean, I love cats. So
yeah. So what are three really practical ways that people can, because this is a really wide-ranging topic, but what a lot of people in this group, and I think women in general, struggle with is burnout. So their bodies are depleted and pushed too hard. Trying to find a way to create balance, whatever that might mean, and it's different for every stage of life and every different woman and so forth, but finding some balance within us. And actually, I think one of the biggest problems, certainly for me, and I see in the world, is we're not home, meaning we're not in our bodies. We don't live here, and so we're not really present to both the wisdom of it and the warning signals. So what's some ways that women and men, for that matter, can come back home to their body?
Well, like you say, a lot of people say mind body. I say body mind, because body mind means it has an intelligence of its own, whether you're home or not. Most people live in the penthouse suite, and they're out the workers down below.
Right.
So most people live in their head.
Yes.
So the body still operates. It has an intelligence of its own. Whether you're there or not, your heart's going to beat. You're going to breathe. But what if you breathe consciously? What if you assisted your heart by using your diaphragm to breathe? And what if you keep the vehicle in alignment. Otherwise, if a vehicle, the chassis is all out of alignment, it's a rough ride. It's just like your car, right? So and people are doing superfoods and mind control, but the body is still run down. So to start with, I mean, the very fundamental thing is keep your feet straight. That's a lot of people are walking like this, 2 different directions. So the left brain and right brain are going in 2 different directions. They're not in alignment. Just by keeping your feet straight when you're standing and walking, you start to become on track and you start to use the mechanics of the body in alignment. And then the energy can start flowing. You start pumping your legs a lot differently. The energy is flowing up your body. And then you have a lot more energy.
Okay.
I mean, that's number 1. And that's just your tires, your feet are your tires. Just get them going and
in the same direction. It makes total sense. And it's also, I remember in your course, we spent quite a bit of time on that. And something that I've forgotten, and my feet go in different directions. And so, yes, that makes total sense to come back to and think about that. And the analogy is great. It's just like tires on a car. If they were going like this, then the car wouldn't go anywhere. Okay.
Right, but you're throwing out the chassis, the undercarriage of the knee joints and the hip joints. Now, if that's splaying, your feet are splaying open, your knees are, they're running, the ball bearings are worn out on one side, not using it in uniform, how they're built, and same as the hip joints. And that's why so many people need hip replacements and knee replacements.
Yep.
And they'll wear them out again if they don't have that correction. Now, people don't teach you this. They don't teach you how to walk in school. Or how to. And another one, especially with computers, we're constantly got our head inside of a computer. Got to come home, and it relaxes the shoulders and it brings the neck back over top of the body. So now you're in alignment there. And of course, the spinal column has to straighten itself out through all of that and how you use, and then it starts to move the energy through the body instead of putting a kink in the garden hose, and then the energy gets trapped and it pushes it down to the next chakra or the next energy center. So we hold that energy, whether it's sexual energy, if your hips are cocked, a lot of sexual energy being held back. And creativity, because that's the sacral chakra is all about creation and procreation. We want the energy to flow up through the body and not let it, the gravitational pull us down. And conscious breathing. Nice big breaths and give the body, pump yourself up like a blow up doll, right? We don't want to be deflated. So bring up your breath. And yeah, and one more thing, and I don't know if I should say it, but
you should.
Okay. Is to keep our minds clear, is to get rid of bangs.
Oh, okay. That's right.
That one. Don't say, gosh, I want to clear my mind. We want to clear our mind. Even if it's just at home, Jannette, even if you just pin it back a little bit at home, and you can still, because your hair looks great, but you're opening up your feminine side, receiving here, but this side is covered. And so it can feel like 1,000 radio stations on at once.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of hiding your masculine. You bring it right back. You've got a beautiful forehead. And it's like showing the world all of you. This is who I am. Like, otherwise it's like putting a lampshade on your light. And you've got beautiful light. Show the world all of that. Otherwise, we kind of hide behind it.
That's right. I remember that part of the course as well. And there was a hair removal phase that you went through where you were waxing people's extra stray hairs and stuff to really open that up. And that does make a lot of sense, actually. Even if it's simply from a perspective of, and I'm kind of really conscious of making sure my eye's not covered so that people can see.
For that, for sure,
but yeah, that does make sense, and I'm going to practice that and see what happens when I pin my hair back if I think better.
Because the body says, gosh, I just want to clear my mind. We actually do it physically,
right?
And then we go back into it and this becomes normal again. I mean, it looks great on you, but I just by the computer, if you want to think a little clearer, just pin it back a bit. That's what I suggest to people. Feel it out.
Yep,
And
great idea.
right or wrong way. It's just,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. And what my mission is to get the bangs off everyone's foreheads.
That's right. She's on a mission, everybody. If she sees you, you will no longer have bangs. It's true. Okay, so Carole, where can people find out more about the various things you do? So the trainings, the psychosomatic body work, just even, so everything from, if you just want to have your, face and body read and get some information about yourself, to you want to explore that work deeper and really understand psychosomatic therapy, to you want to go to the practitioner level, or if you want to delve into the more
personal,
spiritual side of things, then there's the galactic signature blueprints. Where can people reach out to you to find out more information about any of those things?
Well, most everything is on my website, which is thelightworkersinstitute.com.
Okay.
And those are all the psychosomatic classes. There is also a sign up on that to receive a chapter of my book, which is called All Your Issues Are in Your Tissues.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that with eWomen Network, with Sandra Yancey and Lisa Nicholson, and Lisa Sasevich, I think, was in there. And, oh, what's her name? Anyways,
Marie Forleo?
No,
not her. The other one, little short, tiny woman.
Yes.
Yes, I know who you mean, but I can see her, but I can't think of her name. But anyways, yes. Okay.
Anyway, it is on there, and there is it's a multimedia book, so there is some videos, and I do a little bit of a mini face reading, and just enough to get people just to look at the headlines, whether it's face shapes. And if they're really interested in the classes, they can email me, and we can jump on a call and see if this is right for them. So they can email me at Carole at the Lightworkers Institute, and my assistant can set up a call. Then I just get on, and that's what I do in Costa Rica. I sit here and get on calls and meet some wonderful people from all over the world. They come here. Got people coming from Singapore and Ireland and Australia. I just had a bunch of Australians here.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And that's Carole, Carolle, not
no, just one L. CAROLE.
OLE. Okay, there's an E on the end and one L. All right, great. At the lightworkersinstitute.com. Okay, so just very quickly, so let me recap, because there was some really practical tips in there that I hope everyone takes to heart and actually practices. They may seem like minor things, but I actually do remember having quite a physiological and therefore psychological shift when I took the course and actually practiced for quite a while. Walking straight, so making sure that your feet are straight, because most of us are one way or the other, but typically we walk quite duck-footed in North America. That's duck-footed, right? Yeah. So we walk funny. So make sure your feet are straight so that the tires on your car are all going in the same direction. Pull your head back, because many of us have this posture all the time, which feels, for many of us, for me certainly, very awkward. Feels like I'm, like way back here in fortunes and so forth, but it is actually just putting our head back into alignment over our shoulders, which does help with the physiology as well, because most of us spend way too long ergonomically out of whack. Breathing, really conscious breathing. So breathing into the belly, breathing very consciously, inflating that doll so that you can not be deflated, you can be inflated. And the spine will align when those other things, when the head's brought back and the feet are straight, then your spine tends to straighten out as well. So, and clear your mind. There you go. Clear your mind by clearing your bangs out of your way. So there's some practical tips. They, again, may seem like they're little things, and I know many of us kind of just go, yeah, whatever. But I actually will make a concerted effort. In fact, my way of doing that is Post-its, where I put them like right around me. So I will be putting those down to remind me to practice that again and again, because those little things do bring us back into our body in different ways. And when we're back home, then we're more present for ourselves, for our businesses, for other people, for the planet, for joy, for experience, all of that. So, and you can reach her at Carole at thelightworkersinstitute.com, or go to thelightworkersinstitute.com for further information on psychosomatic therapy. And is there also information there on the Galactic Signature Blueprint?
No.
Okay, so you have to call her for that, to talk about that. That's a deeper, longer, more woo-woo conversation to have in person there. And so just to end up here, because we often will advocate for people, done a little bit long, but there's so many fascinating things to talk about with you. A lot of what we talk about is supporting people in making the leap, their next leap, whether it's to their next level of being seen and heard, or leaping into a business from unemployment, or making the leap out of an abusive relationship, or making the leap to their next level of leadership, whatever that is. At every stage, it requires courage and different kinds of skills and different approaches. So you've made a lot of big leaps in your life, from bar owner to, retreat owner in Costa Rica. There's been a lot of leaps in that journey.
Oh, yes.
What helps you to make the leap? So what's been a really big leap you made, and what's really helped you to make that leap?
Well, I think just understanding myself and my highest mission and the dedication to my mission. And a lot of people talk about life purpose. Mm-hmm. And life purpose is very easy. We're beyond life purpose. Life purpose, we all have the same, which is just love yourself unconditionally. And when you love yourself and love your body, everything else just comes into alignment, and then move on to your mission. And your highest mission, I feel, comes through the Galactic Signature, really has been set out for us. They didn't screw up on the other side. They did screw up on the other side, though. They forgot to send us with the manual, so they sent it to me. So we can roadmap you and see how it relates to your life. And it's, like I say, 99% true. And if not, we're all making up a story. We might as well make up a good one.
That's right. I wholeheartedly agree. I say that all the time. Make up a better story. Awesome.
And done through fairy tales, like architects, whether you're an avatar or a sage or a compassionate one, we all have that in our signature. And right. To see ourselves as multi-dimensional leaders.
So part of your ability to leap was really coming back to yourself and understanding yourself, understanding what motivated you, what gets you moving when you don't want to move. And in that understanding, then you can call on those strengths and use those strengths to get you where you want to go and to make that leap. Yeah. And just on that note, so courage is a part of the willingness to make the leap. So we can understand a lot, and I know lots of people who know lots but don't move. So what gets you into action?
Well, if I don't do it, the universe will kick me in the butt. That's what I
Okay, you have a good accountability partner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. And just keep moving, whether it's the right direction or not. You can always course correct, but it's just keep moving, one foot in front of the other, and get out of the stuckness. We need to move faster. Time is speeding up. It's just life's over in a flash, and everyone's getting rid of stuff. They're downloading emotionally, materialistically. People are just letting go of the materialism, and this brings them back to their core essence. I mean, I got rid of 2,400 square feet in Calgary. I let everything go except my crystals and my books.
Yep.
Books, only my textbooks. I let go of 700 pounds of other books. Just recycle things, let things go, and you can move forward. Or the universe will wipe things out off.
It'll help you clean house. Yeah. We have that in common. We both went through that process. We both went through that process of consciously choosing to release, which was really liberating.
I remember your process.
Yeah, it's really liberating. I highly recommend it for everybody. There's more of it that I'm going through, kind of another wave of it. Even though everything I own now can fit in a 10x10 storage unit, it's still too much stuff. I still feel cluttered at times. So I agree. I think that's part of this coming back home is We need a clearer, cleaner space internally in our environments, and I think certainly that's part of what's being called for in the world. So thank you for being one of the people who's really consciously on bringing that about, and for doing the work that you're doing. And I love that you made the leap down to Costa Rica and on no less than, the top of a mountain, and bringing people from around the world to work with you. I think that's brilliant and beautiful. So thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom. And again, if you want to reach her, that's Carole, Carole, at thelightworkersinstitute.com. Thanks, Carole. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.